CNN is your hurricane headquarters. We are watching a Category 5 hurricane, Hurricane Katrina, as it makes its way towards the city of New Orleans. Expected landfall about 5 to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin is on the phone with us now. Mayor, good to have you with us. I would imagine this is a very busy day for you. You have just put in place mandatory evacuations. Is that possible at this hour?
It is possible, and it's in effect, and we are encouraging all of our citizens to leave the city of New Orleans. This storm is enormous. It's coming up in a direction that most people have dreaded, 175 miles per hour winds with storm surges of over 20 feet. And the problem we're having with this storm, if those storm surges are that high, they will top our levees and there will be lots of water in the city of New Orleans.
What type of planning have you done? Because from what I understand, you've been planning for the big one for a long time. I mean, this is a storm that would force the Gulf waters up the Mississippi Delta, over those levees that you just mentioned, which protect the city. So what type of planning is in place for this?
Well, you know, the main thing we do is concentrate on the people issues. How do we plan in a manner that evacuates as many people as possible? Then secondarily, we deal with individuals who have special needs. They may have medical needs or dialysis or what have you. And then thirdly, we have about 100,000 residents that rely upon public transportation solely. So we have to have a strategy for dealing with the individuals that cannot evacuate, and that's the mode we're in right now.
We've seen a lot of pictures of the sick and the injured being evacuated. What about people who don't have any means, people without cars, people who are tourists, who can't get a rental car, who can no longer get a flight out of there? What's being done for them?
Well, the tourists is a different issue. The mandatory evacuation basically exempted any hotels because we know tourists are having a difficult time getting out. As far as residents who cannot leave because they don't have the financial means, we have provided free bus services this morning where we have about a dozen sites throughout the city that are picking up individuals for free and transporting them to the Louisiana Superdome, which is the facility of last refuge.
Mm-hmm. And what about the elderly and those too frail to get out on their own? Is there any effort to go door to door to make sure these people aren't lost in the storm?
Yeah, since the mandatory evacuation was issued, we have our police and fire units going throughout all the neighborhoods with their loudspeakers and their sirens, and they are assisting senior citizens in getting to the pickup places for our public transportation.
I know you don't want to think about what could be after the storm, but the picture is grim if this does indeed happen. No electricity, no clean water, possibly for quite some time. What are you imagining will be the job at trying to restore the city of New Orleans?
It's going to be enormous. The city of New Orleans is built in a bowl, if you will, where we're below sea level. So as soon as the levee systems are breached, if you will, there would be a tremendous amount of water, anywhere from 15 to 20 feet of water in some parts of New Orleans. Our pumping systems at that point will not operate, but we will have the National Guard. We will come in and we will figure out a way to get the water out, but it's going to take us several weeks. But the real issue that I don't think the nation is paying attention to is that through the city of New Orleans, through the Gulf of Mexico, we probably deal with almost a third of the nation's domestic oil that is produced, and that will most likely be shut down. So this could have a significant impact on oil prices going forward.
I would imagine that in a case like this, you sort of have to walk that you definitely have to walk that fine line between doing the right thing, ordering this massive evacuation, yet not creating panic. So what is the mood there in the city, and how do you walk that line?
Well, we started to basically with a voluntary evacuation, which set the signal, and then it was reiterated throughout the past couple of days. And then as time goes on, we just escalated the rhetoric, if you will. And today we ordered the mandatory. So people knew this was coming.
And what is the situation, before I let you go here, what is the situation with the National Guard? Because from what I understand, a lot of your National Guard is in Iraq. So is this shortage going to affect you?
We're not thinking that it's going to affect us. We just spoke with the general over the National Guard, and he has 1,500 troops ready to be deployed with another couple of thousand that they can tap into pretty quickly.
All right, Mayor Ray Nagin, thank you so much for your time. We wish you the best of luck as you face the storm, as you said, most of you have feared. Good to talk with you. Getting out of town while the getting's still easy. You're looking at live pictures of New Orleans where traffic is moving in only one direction, away from the coast, as Hurricane Katrina barrels toward shore. We'll continue to bring you the very latest when we return.
Keep watching CNN, your hurricane headquarters.
Possibly midday, but again at 12 miles.